All right, let's talk some draft choices. We've got our mock drafts, don't we?
Draft chat.
Mock.
Everybody's got a mock draft because I guess it doesn't have to be right if you just throw it out there.
I thought you were going to do Batman. I thought you were going to do the Batman.
Oh, right.
There we go. So we were going to do this song for
That's awesome.
our Bat Chat last week. Was it last week or 2 weeks?
Bat Chat.
The Torpedo Bats were
2 weeks.
Feels like so
Bat
long.
chat.
But now, since we've moved it to the end of it's Draft Chat.
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 So now we can talk draft. We're 8 days away. It's practically a week away. First round will be next Thursday, and then we'll go from there. But, gosh, how long is...
With the first pick.
How many days ago was Mel Kiper's big board? Like right after the Super Bowl? Or was it? It was before the Super Bowl, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was like a week before the Super Bowl. Now, I haven't checked back on Mel and see how many times he's changed it, what version of the big board we got now. But Rob Dibble Show likes to wait until, maybe dust settling might be one thing, the combines, or maybe even some of these workouts. Now, when you were talking about secret workouts, were you talking about the G-Men and their secret quarterback
Yeah,
workout?
Shador Sanders.
Shador, Cam Ward, I heard they had
Cam
in.
Ward.
Now, what? Correct me if I'm wrong, fellas, but didn't they sign Russell Wilson? Like, signed him, not like we're going to give him a tryout. Like,
That's just for next year. I think all of it's two ways. Well, we need a guy for next year, but then we need a guy for the next 5 years. So we'll draft another quarter. It's idiotic when you think about it.
Didn't they sign Jameis, though, too? Like, signed. Not like Jameis you can come work out. Like, signed.
No, they signed these guys. But you could cut them because I don't think you're paying either one of them that much.
What about Tommy DeVito? He's signed, right? Like,
Yeah, Tommy's on the bubble right now.
Man, you
it's
can't
about
cut
to
Tommy.
burst.
That's a bad cut, though.
Dude, I was watching the NFL channel yesterday,
voodoo
and
cut.
they spent hours on Dak Prescott and should they draft another guy. And, oh, my God. I mean, it's just every team, it just seems like we're not satisfied with any of the people we have.
Well, number one issue for any team, if they're not winning the Super Bowl, is do we have a quarterback who can? And if the answer is no, then you have to have some plan Bs, some plan Cs, and some plans for 3 years from now. And the Giants have a full quarterback room as we speak with 3 guys. Most teams don't roll with 3 guys. Most teams roll with 2 guys, and they have a guy like Joe Flacco on the couch somewhere that they could call, even though I know Flacco's off the couch. He's on Cleveland. But they have a guy as such that they can call in an emergency. Now, with 3 guys signed, I think you're right, Dibs. If they're going to draft a quarterback at 3, one of those guys is going to get cut, and he's going to be looking for another job. And Tommy DeVito, Jameis Winston, I don't think any Giant fan is going to be sad about that unless, I had a DeVito jersey or something. But I find it very interesting that they are having another workout with these guys when they both had their own individual workouts. And, I don't know how the Giants are going to play this pick at number 3. It's looking like it's quarterback, though.
Well, I mean, all right, so you know how excited we got when we heard about Joe Milton going to the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And it was tough for this guy to get drafted out of Tennessee. How about Trey Lance? How quickly that guy's been phased out of the league.
Yeah, so true.
And the 49ers gave up so much for that. So that's what's shocking to me.
Yeah.
You're willing to trade your future and all this stuff and on real wild cards.
Well,
I mean,
we still think Lynch is great, too. Like, that's the weird part of that.
I mean,
that's
but
a big
Shador
swing and miss.
Sanders, you're retiring this guy's number, but the reality is he was 13-12 as a starting quarterback at Colorado.
Yeah.
He's really not that good. I mean, yes, the pieces around him may not have been that good, but don't you think that, like, some of the best quarterbacks that have come out in the Hall of Famers, they didn't need the best of the best to be around them. They still found a way to win.
It kind of gives me some hope for Shador's NFL career, honestly, is like knowing that, and we're just talking offensive line and running back. Offensive
Not
line,
if he goes to the Giants.
Yeah, right. But he should be used to it. Like offensive line and running back, Shador Sanders was the most hit guy in college. So he should be used to getting busted up and playing with pain. His problem is he stays in the pocket too long and can create some of that contact. And the difference between Colorado State, TCU, name a Big 12 team, the difference between that sack and the one that happens in the NFL, I would say it hurts about 5 times more. And you can't keep getting up from the ones in the NFL. Those are bigger, stronger, faster. It's a whole nother sport. So I like the quarterback that has to deal with it. I like the quarterback that's grown up as an improv guy that doesn't have the 5 stars in front, doesn't have the 5-star receivers on the side, and has to make it happen somehow, some way. I will say the receivers, Travis Hunter included, that Shador's throwing to, Webster, they're exceptional guys. Like, they were very talented in the passing game. But
what about what Travis Hunter just said? If they don't let me play two-way, it's a no-go.
This scares me.
I agree. It scares me, man. The one thing I'll say about Travis Hunter, and we were talking about this in the studio during the break, is the guy kind of had a baby attitude when things didn't go his way at Colorado. Like
he's kind of whipped by his girlfriend.
I didn't know that, but
you didn't know that?
No, I did not know this.
Oh, just look that up. You don't really want to deep dive into that.
I do want to deep dive into that.
This girl told Travis Hunter a few years ago, "Yeah, I'm not really. You're really not my type. I don't even know why I'm dating you."
Wow. Good luck on that one. That's red flag central.
Prenup.
Red flag central.
Yep.
I do think that this guy can have some temper tantrums in the game of football. I've seen it on the sideline and yelling at Shador. Now
That ain't going to work up top here.
Right, and I understand that him and Shador have been playing with each other forever, and they have a different kind of relationship. But yeah, you're right. Try to, even if it's Will Levis, and like you're going off on Will Levis as a rookie part-time receiver, and how that's going to fly in Tennessee or across the league. Like, you might be talented, but you're only going to get so much rope. And, go ask T.O. how long his rope lasted. As soon as he couldn't catch those balls, remember that ball he dropped for Seattle when he was trying out for the Seahawks? I'll put up with your mouth if you're catching touchdowns. But as soon as you fail, then bye-bye. I don't know. Travis Hunter is still so talented that I might be able to put up with that headache for a little while.
Listen, I agree. I agree, but you got to be productive.
Yeah.
But
Trey
they're going to be
Lance,
doing this. They're going to piece part this, though, with Travis. Whoever gets him, right? Because you can't have a guy. The human body can't take the punishment that playing every snap on both sides of the ball.
No. I looked up Trey Lance, by the way. 1-year deal, $6 million, Chargers.
Hey-o!
Yeah. So, no, and I agree with Kurt. Listen, Deion Sanders wanted to play both ways. The Cowboys, 49, they would put him in on some punt returns and some kickoff returns and maybe a handful of plays.
Yeah.
But not playing every down.
Right.
You're not playing 140 downs in a game in the NFL and surviving that long.
Not only that, man, it's the people don't talk about the mental side of these things. Like being a receiver in the NFL, you may think that you know the playbook, but do you know the adjustments according to the defenses that you're seeing? Do you know all the motion calls? Do you know the adjustments that you make during the motion call depending on the defense that you see? Do you know all the audibles and the hot route checkdowns? And again, like Deion, I could give you a package of 5 or 6 plays, and it's a 1-option, 2-option base play where it's like wide receiver screens. We'll check out of that and run the football, or we're going to run the wide receiver screen. We're going to keep it simple, stupid. But keeping it simple, stupid for a guy to do it 5 or 6 times takes away from practice time and everything else you're trying to do with the everyday guys. So that's a tough balance. It takes a creative coach on the offensive side and defensive side. I don't see that in Tennessee. I don't know. I'll hold my breath until that.
Let's just talk about it. The Giants have the 3rd pick.
Yeah.
Do you trade down and take Sanders, or do you take that 3rd pick? I mean, listen, Abdul Carter, Travis Hunter, it could be Mason Graham, or Tyler Warren. You're talking about defensive tackle, good tight end, maybe an edge rusher. This Jalen Walker.
I think if you're not getting, if you're in the top 4 and you are not getting a quarterback, because I'll throw Jackson Dart in there. I think that's a stretch, but still, like Cam Ward and Shador are your top 2. Or Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter, get out. get out of business. Go back down to the bottom of the first round and get some second and third round picks, because those are the 4 that are difference makers.
Right.
I think the Patriots are in a really good spot at 4 because they can take what they get, because I'm assuming Cleveland is going quarterback. I'm assuming the Giants are going quarterback. And then I'll take what you didn't want up top. If Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter are left over, I think that's a no-brainer for Vrabel and the Patriots to soak that in. I think Vrabel and the Patriots right now are trying to send out like the Kirk Kaplans of the world to throw bunk information on Abdul Carter so you do not draft him. Oh, he's a problem. He can be trouble. I don't know about this guy. Vrabel is like, oh, yes, please let that linebacker fall to me, and I will have him for 8 years and dominate the league. I think the Patriots are in a really good spot of where they're at right now to wait and see what happens with these jokers above them. Titans, Browns, Giants. They're going to screw it up.
All right, so the Jets are at 7.
Yeah, Jets are at 7.
Not an awful place to be if you're possibly might get Cam Ward.
We'll see what happens there. You know, they got Justin Fields, so they're kicking those tires, and you know, there's still a chance that Justin Fields develops into a starting quarterback in this league. It was package driven with the Wilson Fields situation in Pittsburgh. I don't know if it's going to be package driven with New York. They're going to give him a chance to be the starter. At 7.
When's the last time the Jets developed a quarterback?
Great point. But then if you say that, you know, I don't have them drafting Cam Ward or Shador at 7 if it falls there and them doing right.
So even if they do draft a young quarterback, they could screw that up.
Yeah, there's great offensive linemen. There's great defensive linemen. They have hit some offense, like Mekhi Becton comes to mind. They hit on him when he went to the Eagles. They hit on a couple other offensive linemen that were in other places.
And when Sam Darnold went to the Vikings, they hit on him.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So if they draft whoever they draft at 7, I don't know, let's like 5 years maybe. Let's see how the rookie deal goes. Let's not rush to judgment right away. But the teams that are in the top of the draft seem like they're always in the top of the draft, and
they don't know what they're doing.
That's the reason why. Yeah. The Giants at 3, though, I think everything's staring at them. Obviously, we'll see what the Titans do, because the Titans could very well go quarterback and take one of those guys off the board real quick, and that's going to send the downward spiral of things real quick. Yeah. Like Giants, I think the Giants getting Abdul Carter is a great move.
That would be the best. I'm telling you. It's like Micah Parsons, bro.
Yeah.
you're
difference maker.
You're getting a game changer that you can't not draft.
Right. And when you have these 3 quarterbacks, and even with Russell Wilson with this 1-year deal, like, are you going to draft a guy to sit behind, sit in this quarterback room with Wilson,
Winston, Javon Curse,
Vito? What's that?
Javon Curse.
Yeah.
Remember that cat?
Yeah.
The Titans, you want to do something, draft the guy. You gave up Derrick Henry, and he's still a lot of gas in the tank.
Yep.
You need to get a game changer instead of maybe a quarterback.
I think the no-brainer for the number 1 pick is Abdul Carter.
Yeah.
I think so.
I do too.
The Travis Hunter, I want to play offense.
Yeah, I don't want to tackle with that. That's crazy.
I think that the attitude should be, I'll do whatever, man. I will punt return. I will kick return. I will play corner.
Even if you're thinking it, say that.
Right, exactly.
Right.
And then
I agree, Kurt.
Talk
Don't
with
say
your
it out
OC
loud
and work yourself into that mix. And then the Titans will realize we've got something, or Cleveland or whoever drafts this guy, we've got something the league doesn't have. But to just go out there and to demand it, and the rest of the league's taking notice on that as well. You think a corner in this league is going to want that kid to make a catch? They're going to be playing him even harder than, and be ready for it now.
Yeah, I never thought of that.
Being a surprise to anybody, but he's talented. This is the other thing about both those guys, man. Shador and Travis Hunter. Watch them play. They jump off the screen.
Right.
I mean, the speed that they play at.
But their people should be saying, "Don't open your mouth."
Yeah, but look who's their mentor.
Their people.
I mean, this is Deion Sanders we're talking about here, baby. Come on, it's prime time.
I know. Now you got to look up Travis Hunter's girlfriend.
I know you gave me another research
that
project
act.
tonight.
Exactly. There you go. There's your homework for tonight, whether you want it or not.
By the
Mission
way,
Impossible.
when you're saying this, there's boys in the studio that are confirming to you because I think they've looked this situation.
Oh no. Yeah. It's
a situation.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't even get into Belichick giving his girlfriend a job. I mean,
I know. She's
Yep.
qualified.
yeah, she's qualified to walk around and look cute.
I guess.
Let's take a quick break. Come back. We'll do some dibbles and bits. There's a bunch of stories out there we could chew on. We'll be right back.